Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I have two new Super Troops for the sneak peek number 3 for the summer update in 2020. And today in today's video I will actually explain for you guys what exactly are those new Super Troops, like what are their abilities and how you guys can use them perfectly to improve your game and, well, get some easy wins in Clan War, get some easy triples in the Legend League and so on. We have the Inferno Dragon and the Super Witch. We're starting off with Inferno Dragon, and the Inferno Dragon is basically doing what we already expected. So it's kind of like the Clash Royale as Inferno Dragon, where you have like basically like a mobile Inferno tower, which is flying around and starting to beam up and deal more and more damage. This first off, and as we already expected, kinda didn't sound too good on offense. But there are many things you have to consider on how you can use this troop. So I will exactly show you guys how you can use this troop perfectly and how to make the best use out of this new super troop. But first off, let's check the stats. The stats of the new Inferno Dragon. The stats are kind of nice, to be honest. Like, they are overall 15 troop space instead of the 10 troop space of the normal baby dragon. And then you have like normal stats of a single Inferno tower. So all of this is pretty nice, but one thing which you have to think about is the HP of this one. Let's go to a black mine, and if you guys can see, the Inferno Dragon had 2100 HP and the Seeking Air Mine is dealing 2400, which still means if you want to funnel something, a normal baby dragon with a Cocoon is way better. But now let's talk about the Super Witch, and then we're getting into how exactly you guys can use the Inferno Dragon, and then we'll take a look at the Super Witch, how you guys can make sure that you're using this new troop. Well, for now, this is the new Super Witch, and she's actually pretty powerful, and she's looking kind of big. So this is the new Super Witch, and what exactly is she capable of? She can spawn one big skeleton, and that's the big boy. And this looks already pretty cool, to be honest. The big boy is dealing tons of damage, and in addition to that, take a look how much this skeleton can tank. There's 2 cannons, 1 archer tower, and a Tesla on the skeleton, and it takes a while for them to take the skeleton down. But now take a look at the HP of the witches. That's pretty crazy. Like, the cannons and the archer towers are shooting at the witches, and they're barely losing any HP. The only bad, or like not the bad thing, but the only unique thing is instead of being able to spawn tons of skeletons, those witches are only able to spawn one big boy at a time. So that's, you have to take that into account when playing with those witches. But let's take a look at the stats. And the first thing which for me comes to mind, take a look the first time at the witch, is 40 housing space, and she has tons of HP. Those two things are pretty nice for combining her with healers. We will do that in a second. This is going to be the stats of the big boy. 4100 HP is a lot, so they're pretty tanky. But I think what we should do next is let's take a look at what exactly the baby dragon or like Inferno Dragon can do and where exactly it's actually useful. So the most useful use case of the Inferno Dragon, in my opinion, and that's kind of similar to the Ice Golem, is in defense. And I think this update is basically the update of the death of Queen Charge. Maybe not the death, but it's way harder. Just take a look at this. You always need to force the Queen ability, or you need to force an additional freeze onto the Inferno Dragon. Otherwise, your Queen will always die. And this was on the outside of a base. Imagine this is happening on the inside of the base. This is pretty crazy. So Queen Charges in the next update are going to be hella way so much more difficult to execute. But yeah, I hope they're not dying out, but I don't think so because they're so powerful. So still, this is making Queen Charges way tougher to execute. But we're not talking about Queen Charges, we're talking about the new Inferno Dragon. So let's see what is happening if we're spamming all of them just into a base. And I have to one more time highlight, I feel like they're going to be kind of similar, something like the Ice Golem, where they're freaking strong on defense, and they might be nerfed at some point on defense if they're feeling too strong. But at the same time, I think it's good that there are defensive options which are pretty good against offense, because at the moment I feel like Town 13 is a little bit too easy, so I think it's good if there are good options on defense, as for example the Inferno Dragon. So that's kind of nice in my opinion, because I think the Inferno Dragon is going to be crazy strong on defense. On offense, I'm not really sure about that. I think if you can maybe make sure that the Town Hall is like easily targetable by one Inferno Dragon, then you can take that Town Hall out one by one. But if you're just having those Inferno Dragons and they have to like beam up on every single defense and building, I think this just takes too long, and most of the other options, for example normal dragons, are way stronger. So I think that's why, in my opinion, I don't really see the Inferno Dragons being too strong on offense, but I think, like I said, they're going to be, I don't want to call them already OP, which I called already the lightning spell, but I think they're freaking strong. They're insane. So let's get back to this attack, because you guys can see the Inferno Dragons are actually surviving really long. But at the same time, I feel like that's kind of happening to all of the air troops. If I would have spammed in some normal baby dragons, I think they would have come kind of close to this result as well. So not sure if that's really that impressive, but either way, those dragons are surviving really long, and they're trying their best to like help each other to get all of those buildings down. But yeah, as soon as you're getting into the back end, you're missing something, like you're missing some power, which is most of the time in those other troops, for example dragons, available. So that's why I think Super Dragons are going to be a defensive troop and not an offensive troop. But since you guys saw this attack on already the first clip of the defense, let me guys know what you think about the Inferno Dragons and how you guys would use it. But now, let's get into the interesting part. Let's get into the Super Witches and let's see how they will actually work into an attack. And you have to make sure, and I have to highlight this over here, because otherwise all of you guys will say, oh my god, the new Super Witch is OP. You have to highlight that the Super Witch has like two possible opponents on base. Which means if you have multi-Inferno Towers, like this base for example, then Super Witches are freaking strong, once again. But if you're facing single Inferno Towers, which we will do right after this clip, it's completely different. So just take a look at the Super Witches for now. The crazy nice thing about the Super Witches is, even though they are 40 troop space, just because of that they're pretty strong. Because the reasoning behind that, they are just too fat for spring traps. You can't spring trap them away, which means they will always survive most of the stuff. Which means as long as the Super Witch is not getting targeted by the single Inferno Tower, you always have your healers keeping them alive. And as long as you have witches, maybe even supporting your normal, like your Super Witches, which I have at the moment, I think I used in my Siege Barracks some normal witches, so I have the combination of Super Witches and normal witches. And I think this combination is freaking strong, because the reason for that is the small witches are tanking single Inferno Towers, and the big witches with the big boy with the skeleton are tanking most of the point defenses kinda. So that's the idea behind that. And you guys can see, I haven't lost a single Super Witch just yet, because there's no threat. As soon as there's no single target Inferno Tower on the entry, it's really hard for them to die. Because, like I said, they can only die to defenses, not to traps. Because they're, I always try to highlight it, but they're too fat for spring traps. The housing space is too much. The spring traps can't handle that. And even though I think in the beginning, when I take a look the first time at the troop, I was like, oh my god, 40 troop space, that's way too much. But now it's actually their biggest strength, because now they can't really get lost into those spring traps anymore. And that was one of the big weaknesses, for example, to Yetis or normal witches, all those kind of bigger carries, if you wanted to put it like this. So yeah, I mean, on this attack, like I said, I haven't lost a single Super Witch on this one. And yeah, but now let's take a look at single Inferno Towers and how they will do it. So I think the Super Witch is going to be a really base depending troop, and yeah, let's see how that will go, I guess. So let's take a look at this one. This one is going to be the same base as we attacked with the Inferno Dragons. And and on this one we have, like we normally do on ring bases, we have a one walk in the beginning, then we have some sort of funnel, and then we have like a spam everything and hope for the best. That's like the easy way, which you want to do over here. So I have 2 jump spells, I have 6 freezes, just because, like I highlighted already, the big weakness is the single Inferno Tower. So if you can keep your witches alive, that's kind of the best thing which can happen, and that's why you're using the 6 freezes. So yeah, let's just like keep the warden going over there. Then we're starting off with the siege barracks and everything. And like I said, one thing which I really like to combine is the super witches in your own army, and then the normal witches in the siege barracks. I like that combination a lot because I feel like it gives you more flexibility regarding the Inferno Towers. But yeah, let's see how this works. So everything is going in. The big boys are jumping in as well. Now everything is following. I think the warden ability was a bit too early, but well, let's see how those things will turn out. Now the witches are coming in as well. You can see all of the skeletons getting in front of the now witches. One of my big witches, one of my super witches is getting targeted by the single Inferno Tower, so let's just freeze that, and then the next jump to the core, freeze the town hall. Not really sure about that, if that was actually needed, but yeah, either way. The healers are on the super witches. That's always the important thing you have to go for. If you have those super witches and they have your healers on them, like I said, except single Inferno Towers, they can't die. They even, like on those Yetis, they can at some point die because first, their hit points, and second of all, they can die to spring traps. But those witches, they are ranged, so they will stay out of the damage of most of the defenses. And they can't get spring trapped away, so that's another big thing. I think why I lost this attack though is because I haven't frozen the single Inferno Tower when my Royal Champ was in the range of that. But still, like, I just want to highlight the strength of this troop, and I just hope that it's not turning out into the next spam meta where it's like just replacing the Yeti. But those super witches look freaking strong, to be honest, and I think we will see them quite a bit at some point, is my guess. I don't like them too much on defense. I think the Inferno Dragon is way stronger over there because the witch is annoying because she has a lot of HP, but at the same time, she's not one-shotting heroes like the Inferno Dragon. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think of the 2 new Super Troops. And well, if you want to get back to more, we have another sneak peek with something new, with something really cool. And I'm really excited for you to show you guys. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me guys know down below in the comments what you think of the new 2 Super Troops. I will see you guys back tomorrow for another sneak peek. Until then, see ya and bye bye.